Shabbat Shalom. Welcome back here to our beautiful gathering that we miss all the time, all the week, until we get to Shabbat and we have the time to enjoy this time together, to go into the Word of YaHuWaH, to have some food, spiritual food that we all need, especially in these times, and to have the joy and the shalom of YaHuWaH in our hearts. That's the feeling, right?
Yeah, that we need this time. This is the blessing that YaHuWaH is pouring over all of us. So that's something beautiful.
Yes.
And
okay. So it's good to have all of you here. You know, we were taking a look in the chat while taking a look in the last details of the portion. You have the chance to read it. I have not read it. So we are going to study from scratch.
Yeah, but two chapters only.
Two chapters, and we will see how the Ruach is bringing to our hearts and our mind. I see many of you connected here. We see, you know, Denise was the first one here. Lillian, I don't know who is this sister.
No.
You don't know? Okay.
No.
DDK is also here. Who else?
Dean.
Yes. I saw
Leslie
welcome.
Yeah.
Jimmy Marisabel is also here. Watai is also with us. Heidi is also here. Who else?
Camila. Yes. Heidi. Oh,
yes,
you
I
said.
said.
Yeah, Heidi.
Yes. Who else?
Gina, Erin.
Regina, Steven.
Yeah.
Who else is here? Corina is also with us.
Tyler.
Our brother Chaim is also here. Emissary of Elohim.
Will Betancourt.
Yes, Will is also here. Okay, so welcome all of you, and we will have a beautiful portion today. I think based on what I just saw in the chapter, and I think it's so important, the message that we see, at least in the first chapter. I know maybe in the next one is also an important message, and in the third one is also an important message. For the times that we are living, you know, I had the chance to take a look in an email that Shannon, our sister Shannon, was sending us, sharing with us her experience, somehow terrifying experience she had, and I think she was sharing this on the chat last week. But you know, I think this type of things, though, that somehow we can be with a lot of fear. She told me on the email, and you saw the email too, and it was my answer, is that I think YaHuWaH is preparing us for
what is coming.
For what is coming. It's preparing us for what's happening today, but most importantly on what's coming soon.
Yeah, because he said that this is going to be a battle not only on flesh, it's going to be a spiritual battle. So we're going to be able to see that fight.
Yes.
We are going to be able to see things that in the past we haven't seen before.
Yes, a soldier, before going to the real battle, needs to go through a training period, and not only to provide the skills, it's also to provide the attitude, and in order to put the courage inside, and how to manage fear. Because fear is something that is going to happen anyways in any situation, but we should not be dominated by fear. We should use fear in our favor in order to do what we have to do. And I think it is exactly what YaHuWaH is doing with all of us. He's preparing us in order to put the strength of the Ruach in us, so we are able to do what we have to do.
When they talk about the armor of YaHuWaH, of Elohim, he is asking us to put our helmet that is going to protect this area. So our thoughts, our everything that is being protected here, and also I don't know how to call it, the breastplate that is going to protect our emotions and things like that. So every part of our body needs to be covered, and not only thinking about the physical, but we are had our spiritual being and our physical being are had. And if we are connected with YaHuWaH, we are going to be receiving that protection that He is giving us.
Absolutely. And as Camila was writing, what a best way to connect with YaHuWaH through the key. Through the key that is praising Him, singing to Him, worshiping Him is something that is going to make us resonate to His music.
You know what? Something that I was thinking the other day. Some people can sing so beautiful and perfectly, and when there is silence and everybody is listening to them, and it's like a voice of a messenger, of an angel, something that is so beautiful. And I wish someday I could sing like that. But the other day I was thinking, because the only place that I can sing is when there is a lot of noise.
I thought in the shower.
In the shower. Yeah. When I know that nobody's going to hear me. But you know what? I was thinking maybe we are going to sing when we are going to hear a lot of noise. Maybe noise of battles and things like that. So maybe that's the time. Maybe we are all going to sing, but with different surrounding maybe. So I don't know.
Interesting. You know, we discussed it the other, I don't know, a month ago or maybe more, that I think the shower is a special place. That many revelations and thoughts are coming to our hearts, and maybe it's somehow related to the water. I don't know. It's maybe our mindset, the mind is more renewed when we are just focused on when we are in the shower. Actually, I didn't tell you this, but I think what you showed me to read is something so connected to everything I was studying as well. I don't know. How come?
And YaHuWaH is showing us that everybody's receiving different pieces of the puzzle. So we are going to see at one point the big picture.
I like to put some puzzles together, so maybe he's using somehow to in that way. He knows. So, you know, and about singing, and we didn't talk about this, but we had the opportunity. I had to picked up my son the other day on Friday night. It was, you know, unfortunately here in this country, the people, because of marketing, because of, I don't know, whatever, and because of spiritual evil spirits, that's the source of everything, of this type of things. People also celebrate Halloween. And but we went to my sister's house to pick up my son, and there was a group of young people from a church where my sister and my brother-in-law are they are pastoring.
They are pastoring there.
And they were all together having some time together, totally outside
and I was
Halloween.
afraid that they were going to be celebrating maybe this feast.
And I was telling you, no, they don't do it. And you would say, no, most probably they're going to do. No, they don't do it. Because we had an agreement in the past that we were taking the children totally out of this and try to put them in some isolated, I don't know, experience, or they're doing something totally different outside so what it means to celebrate those type of pagan and evil things. So the point is that in one moment one of the young men, actually was my
your nephew.
My nephew. He brought the guitar and gave it to somebody else, and they began singing. And you went there just to share with them and listen to them and so on. And what I found so beautiful is that this little boy, he was
like 8 years old, something like
between
that.
8 and
8 and 9, something like that, and the girl was like 5.
8 years old. And then sometimes, you know, he was, and actually he has a really nice attitude. You saw what he did with the shirt. He was telling me the same thing that you were saying, but please sit.
Because you're old.
I want to get I want to stand. And he was with the phone, unfortunately. He was some playing or watching some videos, while the rest was singing. But even though that he was with the phone,
he was singing
he was singing too. And he had a beautiful voice. And he was singing, and sometimes he was singing very loudly.
Yeah.
And everybody else were listening to him. And
you know, you missed that part, that at one point he said, oh, what those beautiful times. Like he was so old that it called our attention, because we said, yeah, like you're 50 or something like that. It was a comment that he made, like the song was remembering like the old songs or something like that.
Yeah, and it was from our young time, actually.
Yeah.
But it was so beautiful to see that, he was singing, and what I told him, I said, when you are singing, try to close your eyes. You are going to feel something different. I don't know if he did it, but most probably he's going to remember. Because, it's not something common to see such a young boy or children that they singing and they're singing with maybe he was. And unfortunately, this is the age we are living, is that we are somehow disconnected from the intention of our heart and the attention of our being to what we are doing.
Yeah.
And he was singing, but at the same time he was with the phone. So he somehow
in both places
he's missing the connection that when you have the full attention and the full focus and the intention of your heart on what you are doing. In that case, singing is when you are going to feel something different. But he had something. He just need to connect things and to produce those link understanding that when we sing, we are singing to the most important person, the most important being that exists, is that Elohim. It was a beautiful experience and somehow connected to everything we have been discussing and reading and writing about. So, well, today, the portion, and somehow is so connected to the portion, I guess, we title Kumi Ori, that it means arise, shine. And this portion goes from chapter 60 to chapter 62 on the book of Isaiah, YaHuWaH. And I think after this one, we are just left with two portions. Wow. It's going to be sad. But we're going to begin with
a new book,
Jeremiah.
New prophet.
Yes. So I think we should go. Let's go and let's share the song that you.
This time
you asked me to change.
Picked. Yeah.
I had prepared another one, but she asked me to play this another
because
one.
It's going to appear in the portion today.
But let's see. So let's listen to this song and then we will continue with the portion. Here we go.
ציון לא אחשה ולמען ירושלים לא אשקוט עד יצא חנוג הצדקה וישועתה כלפיד תבער וראו גויים צדקך בכל מלכים כבודך בקורא לך שם חדש בי אדוני קבנו והיית עטרת תפארת ביד אדוני וצניף מלוכה בכף אלוהיך לך יקרא חפציבה חפציבה, חפציבה למען ציון לא אחשה ולמען ירושלים לא אשקוט עד יצא חנוג הצדקה וישועתה כלפיד תבער צדקך בכל מלכים כבודך וקורא לך שם חדש כי אדוני יקרבנו, וראית עטרת תפארת ביד אדוני, וצניף מלוכה בכף אלוהיך, לך יקרא למען ציון לא אחשה ולמען ירושלים לא אשקוט.
It's a beautiful song, so you feel your heart more.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful one, so let's pray.
I want to sing like her one day.
One day. YaHuWaH, we want to give thanks to you once again for giving us the opportunity to have this gathering of YaHuWaH, to have this time together. No matter the distance, we are with one heart, desiring to have this time together with you. Thank you, YaHuWaH, because you are the one who are orchestrating everything. You are the one who see the big picture, YaHuWaH, because you see it all. And yes, you are worthy. You are worthy of it all. Because you are the creator, you are the only one, the only true Elohim. And in this time where we are here with YaHuWaH, with the intention of study your word, with the intention to get that spiritual food that is the most important thing we need in order to get the nutrients that are coming from you for our inner being, is when we want to invite you to be among us. It's when we want to invite your presence and your Ruach to be inside of us, filling our vessel, because we are your vessels of your temple. And we want to feel that fire inside of us, the fire of your Ruach, which is purifying everything with YaHuWaH, which is preparing us to fulfill our role in your kingdom. And we are so anxious to see Yahushua or YaHuWaH coming on the clouds, But we know that in order to see that, we need to prepare ourselves, and we need to do what we have to do. We need to fulfill the role for which you have called each one of us. And here we are giving our hearts to you because we belong to you. And we ask you, Abba, that you can take us, that you can fill us with your presence, that you can open our understanding, our eyes, our ears, so we can be so connected in harmony with you. Resonating with your music, with your melodies, with your frequencies. Being so connected to your natural system, O YaHuWaH. Fulfilling our role as your children. YaHuWaH, we recognize that the only thing, the most important thing we need in life is you. Without you, we are nothing. And with you, we have expectation of life. We have hope. We have promises that are coming from you, from all. And we know those promises are being fulfilled through your Son, Yahushua. He is the one who is bringing those promises to fulfillment. And that's why we take his hand and we follow his steps. Because he is the one leading us, each one of us, in your way. He is the one leading us to your kingdom. And he is the one teaching us the way we have to live, the way we have to serve you, the way we have to shine the light that is coming from you, the light of the world, that is your Son Yahushua. And we want to allow his light to shine in us and through us, so we can bring your truth and your light in those places that are full of darkness in this time. Empower us, O YaHuWaH, with your Ruach, in order to be true servants that are bringing your truth and your Ruach in this generation. And help us, Abba, in order to understand your word, to be transformed, to have a new heart that is resonating with you, and to renew our mind, so the mind of Mashiach can be our mind, so we can do your will, and we can fulfill your purposes, the purposes of your heart in our lives. Guide us, O YaHuWaH, in this study. Allow your Ruach to speak to us and through us, so we can speak your words, not our words. And we pray for your children that are here with us, that your presence be in them, filling their hearts and their inner parts with your Ruach, that you can heal any disease, that you can solve any problem, that you can give the key to each one of them in order to have the experience with you. And also for those that are not here, that are going to be able to watch and listen to the study later on, that you can be with them as well, YaHuWaH. Prepare us, O YaHuWaH, for the times that are coming, so we can be strong in your word, be strong in your kingdom. And you have put such a beautiful example for all of us to follow. And that example is your Son Yahushua HaMashiach. We want to be like him, YaHuWaH. Guide us in order to grow, to be like him, to allow his life to live through us, so we are an example for those around us, what it means to be a children of Elohim. Thank you, Abba, for your presence and for allowing us to have this gathering and for filling our hearts with joy, shalom, and with your presence. And thank you for accepting our invitation, YaHuWaH, to be among us, because we know that you are with us, because we can feel your presence. Thank you, Abba, for your love, your compassion, and for your hope and your promises. We pray to you in this moment. We do it in the mighty name of your Son, YaHuWaH HaMashiach. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, so let's go to Yeshayahu, chapter 60, and I'm going to read this one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. So it says, arise, shine, for your light has come, and the steam, the kavod of YaHuWaH has risen upon you. For look, darkness covers the earth, and thick darkness the peoples. But YaHuWaH rises over you, and his steam is seen upon you. And the nations shall come to your light, and sovereigns to the brightness of your rising. Lift up your eyes all around and see. All of them have gathered. They have come to you. Your sons come from afar, and your daughters are supported on the side. Before I continue, who's speaking about?
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem.
But sometimes, I don't know, when I was reading this, I was thinking also like maybe what was the message that Yahushua was receiving at one point, and also maybe to us at the end of times. So it's like it has like different directions.
But you know, I think as everything,
Jerusalem.
As everything that in the scriptures, you know, this could have multiple applications, not only in one side. And I don't know if I mentioned this in the past, but I said this to my dad yesterday. The scripture sometimes is like circles that are going and growing. It's like rings. So one small ring, and then this is contained in a bigger one, and this one is contained in a bigger one. So that's the way. So you know, when it's talking, it's talking about Jerusalem, because it's talking about your children, your daughter, and who is the mother? The mother is Jerusalem.
Yeah.
So it says that, you know, the nations shall come to your light, and the sovereigns to the brightness of your rising. And what is going to be that light?
When Yahushua is back.
Exactly. This is so connected to what is written in the book of Revelation, is that, you know, there will not be need of sun nor moon, because he is going to be the light. And from all Jerusalem, what's going to be the source of that light? Yahushua, but where? Physically speaking.
From the throne.
And what is the throne?
In Zion.
No, you went to the other branches of the tree. In the temple. In the temple is the throne. The temple that is in Jerusalem is going to be the source, because Yahushua is going to be there, and he is the source of light, because he's the light of the world. So from the temple will go,
like the
it's going to illuminate. So why I'm saying this and why I'm going it this way, because though this is speaking about Jerusalem, and Jerusalem, in the center of Jerusalem is the temple, and inside the temple is going to be Yahushua, who is the light of the world, and is not going to be need of sun nor moon, because he's going to be the source of light. We are also a temple. We are also a temple. And what is in the midst of us is the dwelling place of the Ruach HaKodesh. So if the Ruach is there, we are going to be able to shine. And that was the example of Yahushua. That's why he called himself the light of the world. And also he called us the light of the world. So everything that is written here is going to happen for sure. It's going to be a literal application and fulfillment of what is written here. Is going to happen when Yahushua is coming and he's going to establish Jerusalem, and that's going to happen. But that doesn't mean we should wait for that in order to experience what it means. It means that we can experience in this moment, and somehow is connected to what we were reading, is to allow the Ruach to dwell in the place that was prepared for him to dwell and to shine. With what purpose? Is to remove darkness. And I have a pending short video that I wanted to do this week, but I couldn't do it. Hopefully I will do it tomorrow. It's very short, but it's so connected to what we were reading last weekend about the difference between light and darkness and what we should do with darkness. And this coming from a totally separate source, and you can see how the pieces are coming from different places in order to see what YaHuWaH wants to give us. So what's the point I want to make, just to summarize? We can shine. It's not going to be Jerusalem only shining. We can shine. That's why Yahushua said that we are the light of the world. So, and what we should do, we need to rise and shine when the light is coming, when the steam of YaHuWaH has risen upon us. And this is so connected to the Ruach of Elohim. Is that, is Yahushua when he's saying, I'm at the door, knocking, let me in. It's just to allow him to go in and to give us of his spirit. So, and the nation shall come to your light. And this is going to be at the moment that the kingdom is established, it's going to be the capital of the world. Jerusalem is going to be the capital of the world, and as it is written in the book of Zechariah, even if some nations that are going to exist during that time, if they don't go to Jerusalem,
and it's in the same.
Really?
Yeah.
They are going to receive some
punishment somehow.
Some punishment. Yeah. Hey, buddy, I told you need to come.
Yeah.
So let's continue. Then you shall see and be bright, and your heart shall throb and swell. For the wealth of the sea is turned to you, the riches of the nations come to you. A stream of camels cover your land, the dromedaries of Midian and Ephah, all those from Sheba come, bearing gold and incense and proclaiming the praises of YaHuWaH. And this is so beautiful to what we have been talking to Camila. Proclaiming the praises of YaHuWaH. What it sounds to you? They're coming singing.
And it's interesting because it says that the dromedaries of Midian, that is strife. That is the meaning of Midian, strife. And Ephah, gloomy, when you're sad, when you're depressed, kind of depressed. And all those from Sheba. And Sheba, we know that it could be the meaning of 7 or an oath. So, and all those are coming bearing gold and incense and singing.
So if we go and again, let's continue with the parallel. What's going to happen to Jerusalem? What is describing? As soon as the light is coming to you and the kavod, the steam of YaHuWaH is coming to Jerusalem, everything will change. It's going to be the capital of the world. It's going to be the center of the world because the light is shining there. People, children will come back, will return. Nations will go there because it's going to be, it's like we see in the middle of darkness and we see the lightning house. What's the purpose? Is just to for guidance, for direction. If you see something shiny, you get attracted.
Yeah, and you want to go
And
there,
you want to,
especially if it's dark all around,
and you
because
want to know what it
that
is.
there that you're going to have maybe a refuge there. You're going to find life. And what I was meaning with this, with the names, I found it interesting because it says that are from Miriam and Epha, from strife and gloomy, is like you are overcoming something. Maybe you are going to be overcomers of strifes in the life. Maybe you are going to be overcomers of sad times, gloomy days. And then somehow you are touched or you are connected through an oath. So maybe it's a kind of seal. So I was thinking about that those could be us, all those that are going to be overcoming trials and tribulation at the end of the end of times.
You know, in the previous portions, we have been reading how Jerusalem was desolated and so on. But here we see restoration, but everything connected to the light. You know, restoration in all the ways. You know, children coming back, nations visiting because you are so important. Wealth, riches is coming, and what else? Gold, incense, singing. It's kind of, you know, a restoration in all senses. Everything, you know, became to be in order.
Everything is improved,
not disrupted now. Yes. So if we continue with the parallel, the same can happen to us. You know, when Shaul was speaking about the fruit of the flesh and the fruit of the spirit, if we allow the light of YaHuWaH to be within us, everything changed. We began to live in harmony with him. You know, everything changed from the inside out.
It's a healing
it's a
process.
healing. You know, we have it exactly as you were describing about the meaning of the names. All of that is going away. And since this is going away, what is going to happen? We're going to attract people to us because we are going to be able to allow to be in display not something that belongs to us, it's something that belongs to him. Those are the fruits of the Ruach.
A reflection of him.
Yes. So the same thing is happening, you know, physically, but it's also happening to us. That's why we need to look for the light to shine within us. And it's up to us to do it. Is to seek for that light. And second, we need to allow that light to shine because we can hide it. Okay? All the flocks of Kedar are gathered to you. The rams of Nebayot serve you. They come up for acceptance of my slaughter place, and I embellish my steam house. Who are these who fly like a cloud and like doves to their windows? Because the coastlands wait for me, and the chiefs of Tarshish first, to bring your sons from afar, their silver and their gold with them, to the name of YaHuWaH your Elohim, and to the set apart one of Israel, because he has adorned you. And this is something that I have been always wondering, because it says that other people from the nation will bring your sons and your daughters. And we know that all of this is somehow connected to the second Exodus. So could it be that there will be participation from other people to bring everybody else back? You know, I think we discussed this in the past, how we are going to be able to cross the oceans. Though I believe that he's going to make a way, and maybe it's going to be a huge change in geography, as we have been reading in this book, that everything is going to change. But it could be that maybe he's going to use instruments and people in order to bring us back home.
Yeah, it could be. We don't know if it's going to be, according to our perception, they're going to be good or bad. But he's going to use maybe those people to, because it could be, I don't know, taking you as a prisoner. But in reality, you are seeing that you're a prisoner, but you're not a prisoner. You are being taken there. And maybe in the other way, maybe it's going to be somebody who is inviting you. So it's also person there, an instrument, and it's in a better situation. I don't know.
Now, it's really interesting, those are the mysteries of the word, because it's comparing to a flying cloud.
Yeah, so something that is flying, like it could be maybe a plane, I don't know.
Doves
maybe
in the window.
Yeah, like birds.
Maybe he's going to be the one lifting us up, bringing us in a cloud.
Yeah. Or
There are so many possibilities.
Yeah, maybe some commercial flights that are going directly there.
Yeah, why not?
And we're going to receive some kind of extra miles to go there.
Let's continue. Verse 10. And the sons of of foreigners shall build your walls, and their sovereigns serve you. For in my wrath I have stricken you, but in my delight I shall have compassion on you. So this is like, calm after the storm. We need to go through the storm with expectation that sometimes it's necessary to go through it, but knowing that at the end there will come peace. And this somehow is what he's trying to say regarding Jerusalem. And your gates shall be open continually. They are not shut day or night, to bring to you the wealth of the nations and their sovereigns in procession. For the nation and the reign that do not serve you shall perish, and those nations shall be utterly laid waste. The stem of Lebanon shall come to you, cypress, pine, and the box tree together, to embellish the place of my set apart place. And I shall make the place of my feet steamed. And the sons of those who afflicted you come bowing to you. And all those who despise you shall bow themselves at the soles of your feet. And they shall call you City of YaHuWaH, Zion of the set apart one of Israel. Wow. The whole descriptions of what he's saying is going to do with Jerusalem is so beautiful. It's like having this eagerness to see this already happening. And then we have been sharing this in the past here, is that our own experience going to Jerusalem, though you can feel this huge emotion because the place is beautiful, you know the meaning of the meaning of the name or the place. I mean, what it represents. But when we see that everything is so mixed with the idolatry, this huge noise in some of the places in the old city of Jerusalem, and this connection between people, I don't know, and you begin to compare to what is written here. Is like, I want to see this here, in this place,
because even now that everything is mixed with sin and everything there, you can feel that it's a special place.
Yes.
How it's going to be at the moment that it's going to be renewed and perfected.
Yeah.
And with the glory that it deserves.
Yeah. And this is so, that's why it's so beautifully described here by YaHuWaH through Yeshayahu, that I think is very difficult to imagine, but at the same time, it's this feeling in the heart and how beautiful it will be. Instead of you being forsaken and hated, so that no one passes through you, I shall make you an everlasting excellence, a joy of many generations. We today, in today's world, we have so many big cities, beautiful cities, with these huge buildings, beautiful architecture, even some cities with beautiful nature because of the hills, the trees, forest, and so on. Those don't compare to what the YaHuWaH is going to do, because he's saying, I shall make you an everlasting excellence. If it's going to be the capital of the world, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be, the only fact that it would be, this city won't need the light of sun nor moon, it will make it special. Right? You shall suck the milk of the nations, and shall suckle the breast of sovereigns. And you shall know that I, YaHuWaH, your Savior and your Redeemer, am the mighty one of Yaakov. Instead of bronze, I bring gold. And instead of iron, I bring silver. And bronze instead of wood, and iron instead of stones. And I shall make your officer peace, and your magistrates righteousness.
That's what we need. And I think that everybody's asking for that, to have officer that can bring peace, and all the people who is in charge, righteous people. And that is what we cannot find anymore. So he's going to provide everything. Everything is going to be improved. Like here, he's comparing the materials. And all those are going to be better quality. Everything is going to be...
Yes, with the comparison of the material, he's saying, I will do something better.
Yeah.
I will improve everything. It's going to be an upgrade.
Yeah. And it's not only better if it's going to be stronger. If you compare that, is in the quality, something that is not going to be or more beautiful.
Wow. So just a parenthesis. We were taking a look in the news about what's going on in Spain with all the natural disaster and the flooding over there. First, is so sad to see that it's a similar situation to what happened in North Carolina, in Nashville. It's very similar, and at the same time it's very odd. It's like, how come a similar situation can happen in the other place of the world like it happened here? And we know that this is also an evidence of the times we are living, but it could be for something else. And second, and it resonated to what you said, the reaction of the people in charge was so bad because they were not because of political differences. They were not sending help. So those type of things are not going to happen because he will put the right people in the right role, in the right leadership position, in order to bring justice, in order to bring righteousness. And that's why we don't know who is going to be those people. It's going to be me, it's going to be you, it's going to be you. We don't know. He's going to decide, and he's going to... It's like a president, Maybe he is surrounding him with people that are capable to take some positions, but he's not announcing the roles and the people until he is in office. So this is exactly what's going to happen. YaHuWaH, as soon as he's in office here on earth, he is going to assign the positions to the different people. So what is our responsibility now is to be prepared.
And prepare the way.
To understand what it means righteousness, to understand right ruling, to understand compassion, to understand the truth, and to live according to it.
To be aligned, because those are going to be the way of living. So if we are not going to be aligned, we are not going to be able to live in that place.
Yes. So I was going to say something else, but I forgot. He will remind me if it's necessary. Let's continue. Violence shall not longer be heard in your land, neither wasting nor ruin within your borders. And you shall call your walls deliverance and your gates praise. And I was taking a look in the Hebrew, and this is so beautiful. Because it's Yeshua Tehillah. YaHuWaH Tehillah. A Tehillah
Song.
is a prayer.
Prayer. Right, prayer.
And song. It could be the two. Tefillah is a prayer. But the Tehillah is a song, is a prayer with melody.
With melody. Like the Psalms. It's the
like the Psalms. So, but it's so beautiful to see YaHuWaH somehow connected to Tehillim, with the Tehillah. This is so beautiful. So it says, no longer is the sun your light by day, nor does the moon give light to you for brightness, but YaHuWaH shall be to you an everlasting light, and your Elohim your comeliness. No longer does your sun go down, nor your moon withdraw itself, for YaHuWaH shall be your everlasting light, and the days of your mourning shall be ended. And your people, all of them righteous, shall inherit the earth forever, a branch of my planting, a work of my hands, to be adorned. The little shall become 1,000, and the small one a strong nation. I, YaHuWaH, shall hasten it in its time. So, what I was going to say is that if we might be appointed to a position, we need to learn, and we need to not to learn, we need to live according to it. The only way that we are going to be able to be a righteous person, to be able to apply right ruling, is if we begin with ourselves, by living in righteousness, by applying right ruling to our own lives. We need to practice those things in order to be prepared. You know, it's exactly the same example that we were giving at the beginning about a soldier going through a training season in order to be prepared for the real thing. We are in the training period, understanding how the righteousness of the kingdom is all about. And the way to learn is by applying those right rulings to our lives, applying the righteousness, living and allowing the Ruach to shine within us. Because, you know, if we are able to live on according to that experience, allowing this temple to shine the light of YaHuWaH, it's going to be much simple and much easier for us to connect it all. When we see this physically happening in the temple, we are going to be prepared in order to fulfill the role that Yahushua is preparing for each one of us. If we wait, you know, until the end time, is going to be like the virgins without the oil.
Yeah.
They were not ready. They were not prepared. The other 5, they were prepared with the oil. We need to be prepared with the oil in order to, as soon as we get into the kingdom, we are ready to fulfill our responsibilities. And also, you know, it's like the people today. I don't know if I told you this when I was in Miami and my meetings for my job. I had the chance to talk to a colleague that is a brother as well, because he's a believer. And one of the things that we were discussing is that you know, people's behavior today. And I had the chance to share many things with him about Torah, about many other things in the Word. And the whole discussion we had is that the people are so have such a behavior today, overall, not only believers, society, that they want everything for granted. They want their governments to give them everything. And we came to the point, because I was sharing with him, is that about my study I was doing, and we were shared, I think, with the Jimmy and Marisabel about the importance of our actions, that we need to move to action, not only to think
and
believe. We need to move to action, because it's when we move to action, is during the action, the work, is when YaHuWaH will manifest himself. He will work through us. But if we remain quiet without doing nothing, we are not participating. He wants us to participate. He always acts through us. So that was a beautiful discussion, because and somehow it's applicable to us, because sometimes we rely so much on waiting for Mashiach to do it all, and he will do everything. But we're waiting for him to come and establish the kingdom. But what is our part? It's exactly as John the Baptist was doing. He was preparing the way. We should be now preparing the way, doing what we have been called to do, living in righteousness, shining the light, applying right ruling, being an example to others. And I think yesterday we were talking about this, right? Being an example. Sometimes we don't need to speak.
Yeah.
It's just through our actions, in the way we live.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of things that somehow it will make us shine in the midst of darkness, and people will notice and they will come. It's exactly as being described here. And that's why for me it's so beautiful the way that it's finishing this passage, because it says, and your people, all of them righteous. Are we going to wait till the end in order to become righteous? For sure, we are not going to be able to become righteous by our own efforts.
We need the help.
And we are not going to be able to become righteous now. We are in the way of righteousness. We are going to be able to become fully righteous at the moment of the transformation or resurrections of our bodies, because sin will leave our flesh, because we are going to have an incorruptible body without sin. But we are at this point, at this moment, with the responsibility to learn how to become righteous day by day, by applying the righteousness of the kingdom and the right ruling of the word of YaHuWaH in our lives. And this, somehow YaHuWaH is showing was the real intention of his heart. By the way, the righteous shall inherit the earth forever. Our inheritance is the earth. And only the righteous will inherit the earth. And it's exactly what we were discussing yesterday about the fire, the burning fire, compared to this documentary that we watch. Is that he's going to remove all the bad things. He's going to keep only the nutrients. In this case, are the righteous. And what's the intention of YaHuWaH's heart, and what has been the intention of YaHuWaH's heart since always? A branch of my planting, a work of my hands, to be adorned. He's looking for that special plant, that special work, and this is what he has been doing throughout millennia already, in order to prepare that people that soon is going to be manifested. Good. I'm speaking too much. Do you have something else to share here?
No.
Okay, so let's move on to the 61.
Okay. The Spirit of the Master YaHuWaH is upon me, because YaHuWaH has anointed me to bring good news to the meek. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim release to the captives, and the opening of the prison to those who are bound. These were the exact words of Yahushua when he was reading the scrolls. And everybody was looking at him, and he closed it.
So what is this for me? Somehow? For me, it's a kind of a job description.
Yeah.
It's a job description for Yahushua. He was opening.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my job description. This is what I'm going to do, and he closed it.
Yeah.
And why I'm putting it in this way? Because if this is a job description of Mashiach, the job description is also applicable to us, because he said, the works that I do, you will do it too.
Yeah.
And even greater works. So if he was sent to do all of this, then he sent us to the world to do exactly the same. So if this is the job description, and he said, the Spirit of the Master YaHuWaH is upon me, we should also seek for the Spirit, the Ruach of the Master YaHuWaH, to be upon us, and also not only upon us, within us. Because he has anointed me, and this is also connected to the Ruach, to do what? To bring the good news. And it's so interesting to the meek.
Yeah. To those who are suffering, the broken heart.
But what does it mean? What do you think it means to bring good news to the meek? Who is a meek?
Somebody who is humble.
And he has the capacity to listen to.
He's going to receive orders.
And also to think is to accept and to meditate. Maybe has a teachable heart. What it means, we see in the opposite way that though that we need to bring the good news to everybody, there are people that are not meek. Those most probably are not going to receive the good news.
The stiff-necked.
Yes. So when he's saying, looking at it in a different angle, is that when he's saying to bring the good news to the meek, is that we need to bring with more intention to those ones, because those are the ones that are going to be able to listen. Those are the good soil. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, healing the emotions, the inside. And this is so connected to what we were studying last year about the heart being this rock, is the source to open it up for the rivers of living waters to flush, to proclaim release to the captives.
Because
physical or spiritual.
Yeah, and sometimes we could be captives without knowing it.
Yes. You remember we were talking about the yoke last week, removing, when we're talking about Yom Kippur, removing, prisoners, yoke,
the oppression.
The oppression is exactly the same thing. How we're going to be able to do it? By being hired for the job, because we know what's the job description, and we are capable to take the job. If he has been calling us, because he knows that we are capable to do that job, but taking responsibility on doing it. And the opening of the prison to those who are bound is all of that.
Yeah. And sometimes you need to, it's like when YaHuWaH was speaking that he needs to suffer in order to know the suffering of others. We need to go through those experiences so we can help others too. So it's beautiful how everything has been done, because he's given that opportunity to everyone. It's going to depend on us. How is our heart, if we are going to take that opportunity to go from that place, to leave that place of prison, and to be in a place of freedom. And now, when maybe we are in a better place compared to the past, if we are going to extend our hand in the same way that YaHuWaH and YaHuWaH were doing with us, that they were being compassionate with us. They were not criticizing, they were not yelling at us because of our life. They were trying to help us, to provide us life. So that should be the same attitude from us to the rest of the people.
Yep.
Maybe we're not going to be agree with everything that they are doing. Maybe we're not happy with that, but we have to have that compassion, and in order that they feel that they feel that there is a new way, that there is a new life that maybe they don't know. And it was the same case for us years ago. So I don't know if when YaHuWaH was reading this, he also read this part, to proclaim the acceptable year of YaHuWaH. No? Okay.
That's the part that
is the part that
mentioned.
is going to be happening now. To proclaim the acceptable year of YaHuWaH and the day of vengeance of our Elohim, to comfort all who mourn.
Actually, that's why it is believed that the acceptable year of YaHuWaH, it could be in reference to a Jubilee, to Yovel. It's a acceptable year. It could be a Shemitah as well.
Yeah.
Because it's releasing from depths and so on. Jubilee is the same. So that's why it is believed that his second coming will be in each one of the those alternatives.
To appoint unto those who mourn in Zion, to give them embellishment for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garments of praise for the spirit of heaviness. So he's changing everything. So if we have to suffer something here, he's going to provide the complete opposite. And I always remember YaHuWaH needed to die, and in a very horrible way, but to conquer life. That was the price, that eternal life. So sometimes if we are asking ourselves, why am having this situation, why it is kind of repetitive, why there is going to be a moment that we are going to make a breakthrough that situation, and what we are going to receive is going to be the complete opposite. So if we were suffering, we are going to have joy. If we were dealing with something that it was heaviness, complete heaviness, we are going to receive this lift up from him.
Here in the previous chapter, we were making this comparison, this parallel between Jerusalem and temple and ourselves. And here is speaking to us. And it is exactly mentioning almost similarly to the example we were doing in the previous chapter, because it says to appoint unto those who mourn in Zion, to give them, speaking about people, embellishment for ashes. We're speaking about restoration of Jerusalem, wealth, riches. It could be physical, but most importantly, spiritual. The oil of joy for mourning. What does it represent, the oil?
Something.
Anointing. Is the Ruach of Elohim here. He has anointed me. The Ruach is going to change from the inside what is bad, the brokenhearted, in order to become joy. And this is exactly what I was writing this morning. I was talking about heaviness, the spirit of heaviness, and how the spirit of heaviness was able to go out is by praising, by singing. And it's talking about the garment of praise, the garment of Tehillah, in order to fight back with the spirit of heaviness. So this is somehow a confirmation to what we were discussing this morning.
And they shall be called trees of righteousness, a planting of YaHuWaH to be adorned. And they shall rebuild the old ruins, raise up the former wastes. And they shall restore the ruined cities, the wastes.
I think so.
See? Of many generations. And strangers shall stand and feed your flocks, and the sons of the foreigner be your plowmen and your vine dressers. But
so this is a confirmation that the nations will join and will be grafted into the tree. I think somehow this is speaking about that. And the reference that about the trees of righteousness, the planting of YaHuWaH, is going once again to Tehillim, chapter 1, when he's comparing about that we are going to, the righteous is going to be like a tree planted by the river, waters. By the water.
Yeah.
Okay. And we know, we are compared with trees in different places of the scripture. A tree without water is going to dry, it's not going to produce fruit, and at the end, it's going to die.
Yeah.
We need the water.
But you shall be called priests of YaHuWaH, servants of our Elohim shall be said of you. You shall consume the strength of the nations and boast in their esteem. And it says, and when it says servant of your Elohim, and remember that place where it says you're going to be called priests and kings. That's the promise. So we should aim for that. We should aim for be on the side that he's going to be glad with us, that he's going to be smiling for when a parent is like so proud of their children. It should be our desire to be the maybe the reason that he's so happy at one moment of the history.
I don't know if I mentioned this here on or when we were studying with the Jimmy Marisabel. Let's go to what is written in the book of Tehillim, chapter 1, verse 1. Blessed is the man who shall not walk in the counsel of the wrong, and shall not stand in the path of sinner, and shall not sit in the seat of scoffer. So somehow he's going to describe a righteous man. But his delight is in the Torah of YaHuWaH, and he meditates in his Torah day and night. For he shall be as a tree planted by the rivers of water, that yields its fruit in its season, and whose leaf does not wither, and whatever he does prosper. I'm going to keep it like that because I want to focus in the righteous. And if we go to the book of Revelation, I think it's chapter 21.
About the tree.
Yes. 20?
I think that is the 22, but it's
Here one, the 22.
Ah.
And he showed me a river of water of life, clear as crystal, coming from the throne of Elohim and of the Lamb. In the middle of its street, and on either side of the river, was the tree of life, which bore 12 fruits, each tree yielding its fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. And let me look for the other one in the book of Ezekiel. Just give me a second. Chapter 47.
47:12.
Yes, 47:12. And by the bank of the stream, actually, in the verse 1, and he turned me back to the door of the house, and look, water was flowing from under the threshold of the house toward the east, for the house faced east, and the water was flowing from under the right side of the house from the south of the slaughter place. So those three passages somehow are connected, and I think are connected to the portion we are reading right now. Actually, it's a beautiful description that we see over here, but I want to focus on the trees. And by the bank of the stream, of both sides, grow all kinds of trees used for food, whose leaves do not wither and fruit do not fail. They bear fruit every month, because their water flows from the set-apart place. And their fruit shall be for food, and their leaves for healing. So I think we were talking to Jimmy and Marisabel about this. And what the Ruach brought to the heart back then is that what if, and it's a big if, because it's not a statement, but it's a possibility. What if those trees that we are talking about somehow are the same trees that we are talking here? The righteous one, those one that are going to be embellished from for ashes, those ones that are going to receive the oil of joy instead of mourning, those ones that are going to receive the garments of praise instead of the spirit of heaviness, are going to be the trees of righteousness that are going to be planted in each side of the river. Those are going to bring healing to the nations and food. I'm not saying that the tree of life is not going to exist. I think it will. But again, in a second interpretation, is that I'm connecting this to the job description that we were reading about for Yahushua that is totally applicable to us. If we are a tree and we are planted beside the river of living water, we are able to bring leaves that are going to be for healing of the nations, of the people. We're going to be able to bring the fruit. And what is that fruit? The fruit of the Ruach that is going to provide the nutrients for the people. So if we see it in that way, it became even more relevant what I was saying at the beginning, is that we should not wait, and we have to do something in this moment. We need to act. We need to prepare the way for the return of Mashiach. And basically, we need to apply the complete description of our job. Is bringing the healing not only to the physical body. The most important healing begins from within. Healing from within, removing, and I didn't tell you this, but connected to what we studied last year, removing any
obstacle.
No. Evil spirit. Where are the evil spirit?
Oh, in the gut.
That somehow could be producing any disease. So somehow everything is connected, and how we should do it is by having the anointing, anointing all of YaHuWaH, that is the Ruach HaKodesh.
Taking care of what we are eating.
Yes.
What is part of our diet. our spiritual diet. The
Yes.
nutrients that we are going to allow our body
We
to
cannot
enter.
separate the physical from the spiritual. It's what we are allowing to go through the door
Yeah.
physically,
into our system.
and what we're allowing to go through the other doors spiritually,
Yeah.
those invisible things. And somehow everything is connected in the same place.
Yeah.
Okay. And just to reinforce what I was saying about the trees could be us bringing the healing. Somehow it's reinforced to what you were reading in the verse 6. But you shall be called priests of YaHuWaH, servants of your Elohim. What Kefa was saying, that we are a royal nation, a priesthood. It is written in the book of Revelation that those are going to be priests to YaHuWaH. Let's go there just to take a look quickly. In the chapter 20. It's not there. Here. Blessed and set apart is the one having part in the first resurrection. The second death possesses no authority over this, but they shall be priests of Elohim and of Messiah, and shall reign with him 1,000 years. Who are those one? The trees, the choice plant, the chosen plant of YaHuWaH, the righteous of Elohim, the righteous one of Elohim. So I think there is a second interpretation that we have a role, an important role to do. We need to bring those healing.
Yeah, we should be applying for
Yes.
those jobs.
Absolutely. So let's go back. 61. There you have.
Instead of your shame and reproach, they rejoice a second time in their portion. Therefore, they take possession a second time in their land. Everlasting joy is theirs. For I, YaHuWaH, love right ruling. I hate robbery for ascending offering, and I shall give their reward in truth and make an everlasting covenant with them. And it's interesting because somehow the land was robbed. And how many times? With different empires, and nobody, maybe it's nobody, or only a few righteous are living there. But there is going to be one moment that he is going to recover that place for the righteous. And their seed shall be known among the nations, and their offspring in the midst of the peoples. All who see them shall acknowledge them, that they are the seed YaHuWaH has blessed.
And if you remember, again, we were talking about the Hason revelation with the Jimmy Marisabel, and I was reminding myself and sharing with you that what's going to happen at the end times is going to be two different type of seed.
Yeah.
It's going to be two different type of human beings. It's going to be human beings with uncorruptible bodies that are not going to die, and human beings with the corruptible bodies, as we are today, that they could die. And those with uncorruptible body are going to be recognized. How Abraham was able to recognize the three men that were approaching his
They were
tent,
messengers.
that they were messengers, and he was running toward them, and he was bowing down to the earth and inviting them to their house. How Lot was able to recognize two of them that were to Sodom, seeing that they were messengers.
Yeah.
And there are so many others stories in the scripture that we were able to see that they were able to recognize the messengers. So the same is going to happen with us. As soon as we are being transformed or resurrected, this word is going to be fulfilled. Their seed shall be known among the nations. Their offspring in the midst of the people, they are going to be renowned, they are going to be recognized because they are going to be different. All who see them shall acknowledge them because they are going to be able to see them, to recognize them that are different. Is what is written, that the air is crying out for the manifestation of the children of Elohim. The children of Elohim are going to be different people with different body, with a different level of responsibility. I managed to see some of the comment here in the chat is that part of our responsibility, and we have been talking about this during the kingdom, that we are going to be part of the Team YaHuWaH that is going to restore righteousness and is going to restore all things in this world. So our responsibility will be to go to the nations and to lead them on righteousness. Yesterday I was sharing with my dad about what I found out some years ago by reading the book of Ezra and the book of Nehemiah. When Ezra go to this elevated place to read Torah in the first day of the 7th month during Yom Teruah, and he began reading.
It was like a platform.
A platform, thank you. Yeah, I couldn't find the word, the platform. And he was reading Torah, and people were crying, listening and crying. And when I found out about, the foreshadow of Mashiach and the disciples, for me it was a explosion in my head. Because you can read there 13 names, and the first name is YaHuWaH. And it's the same, it is written Yeshua, but Yeshua is Aramaic. And it's the same Yeshua, that is YaHuWaH in Hebrew, or Yahusha. It depends on how you understand the names. Is the same person that is written in the book of Zechariah that is being named the branch, Mashiach. And what was the role of this group of people in the book of Nehemiah or Ezra, and what they were doing when Ezra was reading Torah? Their responsibility was to help the people to understand what they were listening. So the words could make sense to the people. So, in other words, they were translating Torah, they were teaching Torah, they were helping people to understand Torah, to understand the commandments, to understand the way. That was the whole responsibility of the foreshadow of Mashiach and the disciples. What is our responsibility? It's exactly the same one. Is to live according to Torah, to live according to the ways of YaHuWaH, to the righteousness and the right ruling of the kingdom, to apply them to ourselves, but to teach others. Is to share this with others in a way that is going to make sense for them. And this is exactly what we are going to do in the future. But how we are going to be able to do it, and again, I want to reinforce this point, if we are not doing it now. Now is the moment that we are training. It's the training phase. Then is the moment that we need to do the actual job. Though I think we are doing the actual job now, and though it's going to be really important, today is super important too. Because today there are so much darkness and there's so much spiritual opposition for people not wanting to listen. Later on is going to be a fulfillment of joy, because there's not going to be darkness. There is not going to be opposition, spiritual opposition, because Satan is going to be imprisoned. So it's going to be just pure restoration. So I think now it's also really important for us to do it, even though sometimes we fear in our heart because we are facing this spiritual opposition. But much stronger is the light that is within us if we allow that light to shine than the darkness that is out there.
Yeah, that's true. I greatly rejoice in YaHuWaH. My being exalts in my Elohim, for he has put garments of deliverance on me. He has covered me with the robe of righteousness. As a bridegroom decks himself with ornaments, and as a bride adorns herself with her jewels.
You know why I'm laughing? Because for he has put garments of deliverance on me.
There.
Garment of praise. To give them the garment of praise, the garment of deliverance, and
I think that it was the beginning and the same.
And you should call your walls deliverance and praise.
Your gates.
The garment of Yahushua, the garment of praise, of Tehillah. The walls of Yahushua and the gates of Tehillah. I think there is a connection there. So he is going to give us in the same way that is going, again, in this chapter 60 is talking about Jerusalem. What is a wall? What is the gate? It's like a garment.
Yeah, and it could be our skin, so our body. So what is protecting us?
Again, a wall.
And the gates, everything that is
the entry point.
The entrance.
So in the 60s talking about the city, in the 61 is talking about us. So the city, and that's why it's going to be inhabited by people that are following exactly the same pattern, that are having the walls or garments of deliverance and the gates or the garments of praise. And it's so relevant because for praise, what do you need?
The mouth.
And the mouth is an entry point.
Yeah.
In this case, it's not to get in, it's to get out. And what we're using is for words. If you connect to everything we have been discussing about what is the word, all makes sense.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The 9? No.
No, you already
okay.
read the 10, but you can read it again.
I already read it. He has covered me with the robe of righteousness, as the bridegroom decks himself with ornaments, and as a bride adorns herself with her jewels. For as the earth brings forth its bud, as the garden causes the seed to shoot up, so the Master YaHuWaH causes righteousness and praise to shoot up before all the nations.
For as the earth brings forth its bud, as the garden causes the seed to shoot up, so the Master YaHuWaH causes righteousness and praise to shoot up before all the nations.
So it's going to be praises from all the nations.
Righteousness connected to praises, connected to deliverance. I think those are three important words about the intention of YaHuWaH for all his people and what we should be focusing today, from today on. Let's go to chapter 62.
Wow. And the 62 says, for Zion's sake, I'm not silent, and for Jerusalem's sake, I do not rest, until her righteousness goes forth as brightness, and her deliverance as a lamp that burns.
Again, all the connection with light.
Yeah.
And he's giving these promises that it's going to happen. And how, our question, we should seek how to apply this again for this land.
And the nations shall see your righteousness, and all sovereigns your esteem, and you shall be called by a new name, which the mouth of YaHuWaH designates. And you shall be a crown of comeliness in the hand of YaHuWaH, and a royal headdress in the hand of your Elohim.
You see the pattern? If I go to the book of Revelation, I don't remember exactly what it is.
And the beautiful thing is that it's a kingdom, and you can only have one king. So that's beautiful. We are going to be again in the same format that we need to be.
Yep. So, in the chapter 2, the book of Revelation, he who has an ear, let him hear what the Ruach says to the assemblies. To him who overcomes, I shall give some of the hidden manna to eat, and I shall give him a white stone, and on the stone a renewed name, or a new name, written, which no one knows except him who receives it. So, I see a pattern, again, speaking about Jerusalem, but in the book of Isaiah, but it's totally applicable, similar promises for us. And you shall be called by a new name, which the mouth of YaHuWaH designates. It's the same promises for the people. each one of us are going to receive a new name. It's going to be ending in Yah or beginning in Yah. Most probably.
Like he did with Abraham, with Sarah, with Kefa.
So that's why it's so important when we read this, that somehow, and we see it in these 3 chapters, beginning Jerusalem, then speaking about the people with similar promises, then speaking about Jerusalem, but we see also the same pattern and promises individually. It's a collective, but also individual. You should be crowned, that was the last one, of comeliness in the hand of YaHuWaH, and a royal headdress in the hand of your Elohim. Again, what is written in the book of Revelation? That we have a crown.
Yeah, that we don't have to lose it, so we have to take care of that.
Exactly. Crown means royalty. We are a royal nation. So again, Jerusalem, and this is so profound because somehow is reinforcing an idea I have been sharing for a while already. Is about, it's true that the mother is Jerusalem, but it's not the city. The city is part of it.
Yeah, but also the people who is living in that city.
But it's the people living there. Because, a city without the people is like a body without the being, without the spirit, without the inner being.
Yeah.
When we die, the city remains there, the body remains there, but we know that the person, the real person is not there, it's just the body. So we cannot separate the body from the spirit, because when both of them are being joined together, of the spirits, because it's more than one, the person, only in that moment when we read Bereshit, is when we became a living being. The union of the two things. So in Jerusalem, again, the promises are for Jerusalem, but the same thing is applicable for the people that is going to live in Jerusalem, that somehow is bringing the fulfillment of these promises for the city that is representing our mother. So that's why I think is that everything that we see, the parallels, are because it's talking about the people that is going to live in Jerusalem. And as I said a few weeks ago, none of us know who is going to have the blessing and the reward to live in Jerusalem.
You haven't received the invitation yet.
I have the invitation. I have the invitation to visit Jerusalem, but I am still waiting if I'm going to be able to live there.
You need to.
Maybe I'm going to be one preparing the ground, because there are going to be people, sowing the land over there.
Yeah.
Maybe I would like to plant some potatoes.
No longer are you called forsaken, and no longer is your land called deserted, but you shall be called Hepzibah. That was the name of the song. And your land married, for YaHuWaH shall delight in you, and your land be married. For as a young man marries a maiden, so shall your sons marry you. And I found it so beautiful, because this is going to be a perfect union. And we have to remember that we came from the creation that YaHuWaH made, from the soil. We came and we were, a lot of our composition is from the land. So as the moment that we are going, and we understand, and I think that this also was something that changed in your life. When you receive Torah and when you learn about everything, you understand how your actions are affecting the creation of YaHuWaH, and how much we have to love this creation. Because if we love this creation, the creation is going to love us back. And we are going to be like everything was in the beginning. And he was giving us that privilege. And I can imagine how was the conversation among YaHuWaH and Adam. You have to take care about this garden, this place. So it was beautiful. And
married. The marriage covenant.
Yeah. So it's love in both directions, not only one, is something mutual. For as a young man marries a maiden, so shall your sons marry you. And as a bridegroom rejoices over the bride, so shall your Elohim rejoice over you.
it's a kind of difficult to understand this one because he's talking about the marriage covenant and he's providing an example of a young man marrying a maiden, saying that your sons will marry you. How are the sons are going to marry Jerusalem? What he's trying to say? What do you think? I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
I think that like the inhabitants, they are going to feel that profound love, like in a marriage covenant. I'm not thinking that it's going to be something, how do you say, straightforward. I think that it has kind of an interpretation on that.
But I think it's not only love. I think it's commitment.
Commitment.
I think
loyalty.
That's the most important thing when we're talking about marriage covenant. According to the scriptures, is commitment. It's a covenant.
Endurance.
Most of the time, depends on many things.
Yeah.
No, but this is the commitment. Is about is the role of men in a marriage is to provide, is to take care, is to nourish, is to cover. So in this case, I think that's the, now thinking out loud, I think that's what he's trying to say. Your sons marry you. Your sons are compared to the young men marrying a maiden. So in this case, the maiden is Jerusalem. The sons are the responsible one in order to provide coverage, in order to provide protection, the ones in order to provide the headship.
Somehow maybe
commitment.
It could be also a younger generation. I think that it's going to be it could be the 144,000.
You're adding 1,000 more.
Sorry, I was adding one. Yeah, I think that they could be the 144,000. Yeah, because they are virgins.
Okay.
So they could be maybe the ones who are going to be married to that place, to Jerusalem.
Though there are many interpretations about why they're virgin and what it means that they're virgin.
Yeah.
Okay, let's continue.
And where am I? Here?
Yes, you need to read 6.
Okay, 6. I have set watchmen on your walls, O Jerusalem, all the day and all the night, continually, who are not silent. You who remember YaHuWaH, give yourself no rest. And give him no rest till he establishes and till he makes Jerusalem a praise in the earth. Wow. I don't know why I remember when Naomi was telling Ruth, just wait until he's going to do and accomplish everything related to Boaz. That Naomi was like giving that kind of advice. So it's like YaHuWaH was telling, and give him no rest till he establishes and till he makes Jerusalem a praise in the earth. So we should be waiting for that, aiming for that, asking for that. That should be our prayer all day.
But an active waiting.
In an active waiting. YaHuWaH has sworn by his right hand and by the arm of his strength. No more do I give your grain to be food for your enemies, nor do sons of the foreigners drink for your new wine, for which you have labored. But those gathering it shall eat it and praise YaHuWaH, and those collecting it shall drink it in my set-apart courts.
Beautiful.
So it's going to be the promise of blessing.
Yeah.
If you labor, you're going to receive the reward. It's not going to be to somebody else who didn't do any effort and is just robbing. Pass through the gates, prepare the way for the people, build up the highway, remove the stones, lift up a banner for the peoples.
And this is something similar to what we read last week, I think. Remove the stones, the stumbling block.
Yeah.
So in order to have freeway,
And
not a turnpike, a freeway.
Yeah, freeway. And it's beautiful because the other day when we were walking and I was, you were helping me to remove some little stone from the way, from the sidewalk. And I was telling you, sometimes there are people who are older who are coming this way maybe they are not going to have the correct view to detect those, and they could have an accident, even though they were having some help. So sometimes we are called to be those removing those stumbling blocks.
That's why prepare the way for the people.
Yeah.
Who is going to be the one preparing the way for the people?
Yeah. You need to walk in that way before. You need to.
You were telling me in the past what your dad was doing.
About
working in the past in the south of the country.
Oh yeah.
And they were going in these big trucks and so on.
They were opening the way for the roads.
So what's the point? When they're working on that, when they're creating or working in a new route, they're always sending first team of people that are going to open the way, remove trees, maybe to cut some hills if they want to do it. It's just to make it easier for the big group of people that are going to come and prepare the way and to put some pavement. But the first one are the one that are going to come and prepare the way. Actually, when we were taking a look in the street that they were putting some pavement in our property over there, we saw how they were doing it. First team, okay, the route was already there, but imagine there was just a forest. First team just to prepare somehow the way. The other team just to make it plain. The second one is to put some material on top.
The other one is going to be
to compact everything. So, and the final result is the wave, so everybody can transit. So basically people being sent in waves to prepare the way. But who? People. And we have so many parables of Yahushua speaking about sending the servants, the prophets, the disciples, and we are disciples in waves, preparing the way not only for the return of Mashiach, is preparing the way for the return of the people.
And it's not only until the way is completed, because maybe you're going to have some storms, some things later that they're going to have some things on the road again, like trees that are falling on the way, like I don't know, some rocks.
Karen just put a comment here, and she's so right. Axe taking to unfruitful trees. You know, in this metaphor, in this example that we're talking, is that in order to make a way for a new route, a new way, sometimes you need to remove trees. And we are the one removing the trees. Actually, no, we are in the same example. We need to follow all orders. We are going to execute the action. So maybe we are going to be used as a servant in order to remove, as it is written here, the stones or the trees that are not bringing fruit. But who is the one in charge? Is him. We are just the vessel, the instrument in his hand. And what is the reference? Lift up the banner for the people. Who is the banner?
Yahushua.
It's Yahushua, the banner that everybody will see and will come to that banner, to that light.
See, YaHuWaH has proclaimed to the end of the earth, say to the daughter of Zion, see, your deliverance has come. See, his reward is with him, and his work before him. And they shall be called the set-apart people, the redeemed of YaHuWaH, and you shall be called sought out, a city not forsaken.
You see the connection. The people with the city, both together. They shall be called the set apart, the Kodesh people, the redeemed of YaHuWaH. Redeemed because they are going to be taken from the four corners of the earth. They are going to pass under the road. And those ones that are going to pass under the road are going to be the one into the covenant. Are going to be the one that are going to feel the place like the spirit feeling the body and becoming a living being.
And it's interesting because when you were saying pass under the road, I was remember that it was a kind of old dance that they put like a road and people need to go under. You have two ways, or you bend like that, but you're going to be falling, but you can bend in the other way, so you're kind of bowing down. So anyhow, you need to be somebody who's going to be able and willing to change your way of walking. So maybe in your regular day by day, you're walking straight, but you need to be humble. And
you want to try?
No.
I
No,
have
but
something that's stick over there, and you can show how to do it.
No, because for sure I'm going to fall in both ways. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, now then maybe we should try.
Yeah, no, but I was talking about being humble, that we need to bow down before the King.
You know, I think in the way that is finishing this portion is so beautiful, because again, it's the connection of everything we started discussing and comparing from the verse, the first chapter, is the connection between Jerusalem and the people, the connection between the people and Jerusalem, both of them being transformed, both of them being delivered, both of them becoming praised, both of them becoming righteous. So it's like two magnets that are getting closer
and in the correct position, because you know what
they're not going to repel themselves. They are going to attract themselves
if they're in the right position.
Uh-huh.
And it's beautiful to see that from the old passages or the previous one that we have read, that is everything dark, everything with so much trouble and trials and everything. But we have reached to this part where we know that it's going to be something so beautiful that we are not going to even believe it. That when we see that, it's going to be something that is going to change us completely. Now we have been changed, but it's going to be even more.
Yeah. But again, I want to stress out the point that we need to have an active participation, not waiting for that moment. Is the active participation.
It's now.
Now. It's exactly the same thing that YaHuWaH did when we're reading the previous chapter. He came, he said, this word has been fulfilled in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
Because, the Mashiach was there. And he came to do all of that. He was not waiting for the full restoration that is coming really soon. He began doing that work at that point. So what it means that if we are following his steps, we have to do exactly the same now.
Yeah.
Is removing the stones first from the liver and our gallbladder
and
kidneys. You see? It's also a parallel.
Yeah.
It's removing the stones that are not allowing our bodies to function as it's supposed
properly
to work.
Yeah.
The same thing in a bigger scale things. Removing the spiritual, talking about us first, the spiritual stones. It's not only physical, it's spiritual, but sometimes both are connected. And then, externally, to help others, maybe removing some spiritual stones that somehow are impacting us to walk on the way.
Yeah.
And then to help others as well in order to facilitate their walk.
And everything is in a perfect balance, because even though you can have, I'm talking in the physical, but you can use this for the spiritual. You can imagine that. But if we are having the right nutrients in our bodies, but we don't have enough water, we are going to be causing some damage, because our body is not going to have the correct amount of water to apply it and dissolve all the nutrients of the food. And in the contrary, if we have enough water, but the nutrients that we are providing are not the right one, they're going to causing damages. So everything should be in a perfect harmony. Yeah, we need to take care about everything. Yes. About the food, about the nutrients, about the water, about everything, the temperature, everything.
That's why the inner being is so important.
Yeah.
Everything began there.
Yeah.
How to take care, and again, we cannot disconnect the physical from the spiritual. Both together is what we're allowing to get in physically and spiritually.
Yeah.
When we talk about spiritually, what we're talking about. those things that we know they exist,
but we cannot
see.
Mm. Or we cannot touch.
Or we cannot demonstrate.
Mm.
An example, our thoughts.
Mm.
Our thoughts are spiritual.
Yeah.
Because we know they exist, but we cannot demonstrate our thoughts to anybody.
Our emotions.
We cannot show our thoughts to anybody.
Yeah. Yes.
So, and we cannot disconnect those from our physical being. They are present and they exist. They are there. Okay, beautiful portion.
Yeah, beautiful.
Any final words?
That we are just a part of the complete and big system. So we need
network.
the complete body. So we need to take care about our inner, and then the rest, our, how do you say, what is protecting us, like in a cell, the external part, and then how we connect with the rest, with others. So that is going to be important, so the complete organ can be working properly. Yeah, we should be always remember all our brothers and sisters who are maybe having some diseases. We have to do this internal work, asking of YaHuWaH what we can change, asking how we can understand what is causing them. It's something that we are not seeing right now. It's something that we need to change. It's something we need to improve. And maybe sometimes we are going to need to make bigger changes, like moving from one place to another, because maybe the surrounding is what is causing some kind of problems, and we are not taking that into consideration, because maybe it's going to be a big step, but he is going to let us know what is the real reason. Always, I remember it, I used to have one boss, and he was telling me, look for the root of the problem, not try to put your finger on the symptoms. Look for the cause of that, and then you're going to solve the complete mess.
Yeah, the root cause.
Yeah, because usually the disease or something is the result of something that was kind of not quite good at the beginning. So that is telling you, please look, you have to pay attention.
To put some order in our house first.
Yeah.
And then we are going to be able to help others.
And we have to continue praying for those who are also facing difficult situations. Everything is going, with the pass of the days, months, years, maybe we're going to realize that everything was there because YaHuWaH has a bigger purposes that we could even not imagine before, how those things are going to be the help that we needed to grow and to be how do you say, improved.
Good words. I think that's a beautiful way to finish. I cannot add anything else that is going to be complementary to what you said. We need to keep praying for everyone. I know that it's going to be an important week for our brothers and sisters in the States. We know that we don't depend on people, men, women, but it's important because that could somehow trigger more things, fulfillments of the word. So let's keep praying for safety, for peace, for shalom, for joy in the midst of any tribulation or noise that could happen during the coming weeks, coming months. And we need to fix our eyes in Yahushua, you know, in that banner that has been established from the very beginning of creation, who is the salvation and now is also the praise, who is the one providing the garment of deliverance, and is providing the garment of righteousness, and is providing the garments of praise. It's just for us to be ready to get those garments, put them on, and to keep it, clean, to keep it useful. You know, it's like the priests. The priests were wearing special clothes when they were serving in the temple.
And then they have to change it.
Yes, we need to put
those clothes,
Maybe we're not going to have those on all the time, but we need to put them on at the moment we need to serve. The garment of salvation to bring the good news, the garment of praise to bring the lyrics and the melody that are coming from above, the garment of righteousness in order to bring the right ruling and the teachings and the truth of the word of YaHuWaH. Everything connected in a beautiful way with the anointed oil of the Ruach HaKodesh that is going to come upon us and is going to dwell within us.
Yeah. And just I'm going to add this, nothing to have to do with the same.
And I have something after you as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
If anyone feels or is moved to maybe support our sister that she's in prison, with maybe some letters, physical letters or emails, or maybe a contribution, if you feel that you're moved to do that, please contact us. Write to an email to us, and we are going to provide you the information how to approach to her. It's interesting how even YaHuWaH is providing her some pieces of the puzzle. So even though we are in different situations, YaHuWaH is taking care of every children and every need that we could have. So, and she was given thanks for your prayers.
You're talking about Judy.
Yeah, for Judy. And if you can continue praying for her and for the people that she could maybe interact there, because she felt that is the mission there. Yeah.
Good. So thank you once again for being with us, for listening to us closely.
Yeah.
To interact with each other in the chat, to bring what the Ruach is putting in your heart, to study with us, this amazing book, and also to pray with us and to worship YaHuWaH with us. It's a beautiful place to be. It's a beautiful gathering. It's a beautiful time to spend in Shabbat with all of you. And our prayers to YaHuWaH is that we are going to have that opportunity soon, that it's not going to be virtual anymore. It's going to be a physical gathering, and it's going to be more people all connected, being led by YaHuWaH himself. So that time is coming soon, there's no doubt. In the meantime, we hope in YaHuWaH to see all of you once again in the chat next week. We are, as I said at the beginning, we're almost finishing the book of YaShayahu.
Very interesting one.
It's a very interesting and so timely for these times. Yeah. So that's why we hope to see you next week. And in the meantime, keep enjoying Shabbat. Keep seeking the face of YaHuWaH. Keep having the joy of his salvation here in this resonating instrument.
And sing, even though we don't have good voices, but everybody has even the and we can sing like that. If we don't want to open the mouth, we can make sounds. So
I was thinking in the past about that, Karen, but YaHuWaH didn't want to.
About what?
She asked, "What are you moving here?" When I was dreaming about that, having some dreams about that, but I think it's not the time. He has other purposes. But maybe we can go again and visit. Why not?
Yeah.
So once again, thank you. We'll see each other next week, right? In the meantime, I will close with a song. And this is the one maybe that you were waiting for, Karen.
Yeah,
so it's not the one that you were waiting, but it's similar to one. A similar one. So Shabbat Shalom. See you next week. YaHuWaH with you all. Bye-bye.